we'll start the organization meeting for the Oxford Board of Selectmen for July 1st, 2020. And before we get started, to read our governor's message pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020, ordering suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, chapter 30A, section 18, and the governor's March 15, 2020 order concerning imposition on strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. Meetings in the town of Oxford are being conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. All right, and the first item on our agenda this evening is reorganization. So we'll start off with a motion for chair.
I would make a motion to nominate Dennis LaMarche to remain as chair of the Board of Selectmen.
I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second for the chair position. Any comments? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote.
Yes.
Yes.
John?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Your vote?
I didn't hear the motion.
Okay,
Sorry.
motion was made by Megan and seconded by Mike to have me be chair again for this year. And they
Voted
voted,
yes.
the two of them voted yes.
Yes is my vote.
And I'll abstain. That's 3 in the affirmative, 1 abstention, 1 absent. So thank you very much. I'm glad to be your chair for another year. So in regards to the vice chair position, I'm aware that there is another board member that is interested in being vice chair again. That person is not in attendance today, but at this time, I'm in the inclination to let someone else have an opportunity to serve in that position. So because of that, I am making the motion for Megan Triano to serve as vice chair for this year.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second for vice chair. Any comments? Seeing none, then I will call for a vote.
I'll abstain.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. That's 3 in the affirmative, 1 abstention, 1 absent. So Megan will become our vice chair for the year 2020 through 2021. That leads us to secretary. And it would be my motion to have Cheryl LeBlanc be our secretary for this year.
I would second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes. That's 4 in the affirmative, 1 absent. So Cheryl will be our secretary, and that reorganizes the board. And I thank you very much for your help in that matter, which leads us to next item, which is annual appointments. So we'll start with those. Common occurrence. Okay, we start out with full-time animal control is Kathy Flynn to the year 2021. Entertain a motion to approve her.
I would make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and second, call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I vote yes. 4 in affirmative, 1 absent. Kathy will be our animal control officer full-time. Part-time or on-call assistant animal control officer, Ed Hart, for the up through the year 2021. I'll motion for that.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, I'll call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes. For an affirmative, one absent, so he will be our on-call. Administrative assistant to the Board of Selectmen would be Jennifer E. Warren Diamond and Emily P. Horan will also be in that position for the year up through 2021. Entertain a motion for that one.
Make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
All right, now call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes. For an affirmative, one absent. They are our assistants, and we thank them. Associate member of the Board of Appeals, Tom Purcell. Entertain a motion for him to serve through 2023.
I make that motion.
Second the motion.
I'll call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes. That's for an affirmative, one absent. Thank you very much, Tom. Board of Registrars will be Carol Graves through the year 2023.
I make that motion.
Second the motion.
All right, call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes. For an affirmative, one absent. Thank you, Carol. Trustees of the Charles Leonard Entertainment Fund, which would be Jillian Connor, which is good through the year 2023.
I make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
All right, now call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes. For an affirmative, one absent. Thank you to Jillian. Also would be, I missed him, but trustee for the Charles Leonard Entertainment Fund, Nancy Mackey, to the year 2023.
I make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
And I'll call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes. For an affirmative, one absent. She is also a trustee. Thank you. Parking clerk, Jillian Connor, to the year 2021.
I would make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
I'll call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes. For an affirmative, one absent. Thank you, Jillian, for that position. Two people on the Cultural Council, Susan Grenier and Patricia Rodia, to the year 2023.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
And I'll call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes. For an affirmative, one absent. Thank you for serving on that council. Downtown Beautification Committee. We have Joel Maisley, Juliana Maisley, Barbara West, Timothy West, and they will serve for the year through 2021.
I make that motion.
I second the motion.
And I'll call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes. For an affirmative, one absent. We thank you all for joining that committee. And the second delegate for the CMRPC, which also needs recommendation of the planning board, is Terry Cummins for the year 2021.
I would make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
And I'll call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes. That's for an affirmative, one absent. Thank you, Terry, again. Welcome to Oxford Sign Committee, Glenn Kravosky, through the year 2021.
I make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
All right, call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes. For an affirmative, one absent. Thank you, Glenn. You do a great job on that. And then we have the representative to the Worcester Regional Transit Authority, which would be Joanne Frederick, which would be good to the year 2021.
I make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
All right, call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes. That's for an affirmative. One absent. We thank her for her commitment also. All right, next item on our agenda is that we have the Commission on Disability Appointments, and we have a proposal for the appointments to be shifted into various years, so it makes it easier when people need to be reappointed. So the proposal, this is per Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 8J, that these positions by the town manager, and they're subject to our approval. So this is the proposal, is a one-year term would be for Verena Berthium and Megan Triano, a two-year term for Kelly Twombly and Wayne McFarland, and a three-year term for Carol Kudzell and Deb Lamash. So we need a motion and a second to approve that commission appointment.
I would
I'll-
make a motion to approve the commission appointments.
I'll second the motion.
Great. So we have a motion and a second. Any comments? All right, I'll call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes. That's for an affirmative, one absent. They are now appointed in those terms in our Disability Commission, and we thank them very much for their service. And at this point, unless our town manager has any words of wisdom, I think we're all set. All
My
set,
only-
Jen?
Yeah, my only words of wisdom, and I know we will have a full meeting on the 7th of July, is just to give a very strong credit to not only the clerk's office, but my office as well for setting up, I think, a really challenging both town meeting and election. But I know we'll have an opportunity to talk more about that. But I particularly, because your board is so instrumental in working closely with our assistants, both Jen Warren and Emily Horan, I wanted to make sure they got acknowledgement because they worked tremendously hard and in that hot gym leading up to, you know, that town meeting. And sometimes we get busy doing other things, but I wanted to make sure they were acknowledged for some really, I think, extraordinary work, because the town meeting went off without a hitch, and then they also helped the town clerk's office set up. So I'm very grateful for their ability to think out of the box on how to actually do things that used to be very traditional for us, but in the era of COVID, it isn't. So, and I also would like to say congratulations and welcome back to the two members of the board. Last year, I had an opportunity to say that to Selectman Daniels, and it'll be a pleasure to continue working with you. Thank you.
Great. No, and I'm sure the entire board's in agreement that what they did at that town meeting was tremendous. The social distancing, dealing with all that hot weather, just the whole setup, the way it went, it was a great accomplishment under the circumstances. So, and board members, unless anybody else has any little thing to say, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Question.
Yes, John.
Yeah, I do have a couple of things I would like to say before we close the meeting. I have a
Sure.
selectmen's request.
Yep.
I received a phone call today, and this is in regards to an individual who has a handicapped son and had a complaint regarding parking on the street, which is causing a problem, according to this individual, causing a problem for her to get her son down a ramp into a handicapped van. Now, I believe that she has contacted the police department. They went up, and I don't know what the report is from the police department. Also, I understand this person was in contact with the Board of Health as well. Um, they called me, and I assured them that I would follow up on it and would get back to them. I know now that we have a disability commission. I'm wondering if maybe this should be referred to them and have them report back to us as to how the problem should be rectified on that street regarding handicapped access to a driveway and to an entrance and exit of the house sidewalk.
Sounds good to me. What do you think, John?
Yes, I will look into that, so Selectman Sad. I will make sure that we follow back up, and I'll confer with the chairman about being able to place it on as an agenda item, and I'll speak with the commission, Disability Commission chairwoman as well. I'm not as familiar with the case right now, but I will certainly follow up and get back to the board about that.
The complainant is on 15 Beverly Street.
Okay.
And I do have a couple of comments I would like to make in regards to the election. I just want to thank Lori Kelly and her crew for doing an excellent job, as she always has with elections. The results were out very quickly and accurately. I also would like to make note that I did receive a number of complaints about the shortening of the hours, and I know that was a decision of the board, and we have to live with it. And but I would suggest that in the future we take a good hard look at this. I know that we have the availability now of mail-in votes, but that doesn't mean that we should, because we have additional methods of having people have the ability to vote, doesn't mean that we should take other advantages away. I mean, we've had pandemics in the past, the 19 epidemic, they still voted. I don't recall hearing that they had to shorten the hours. We went through World War II, we went through World War I. Polling is something that is the cornerstone of our democracy, and we should make every effort to make available the ability for people to get to the polls to exercise their right to vote. That's what makes this country so great. We have the ability to vote and express ourselves through that vote. And I don't feel that we should be limiting anybody in any manner. We should continue to expand and make it better. That's what we are obligated to do as public officials. But I don't think we should take anything away as we bring new methods forward. So that's my editorial note on that subject. The other thing I wanted to mention was I want to thank all those who participated in the election. It was an election that had only really one contest, and I want to commend the candidates that were involved in that. I thought it was a very respectful campaign by all candidates involved, and I'd like to congratulate Megan for returning to the board. I enjoyed working with you, Megan, and I look forward to working with you in the future. You have been an excellent asset to this community as a selectman. Also, I'd like to thank all those who went to the polls to take the time to express themselves. Whether you voted for us or against us, you participated, and that's what really counts. You have spoken, and because you have spoken, I will do everything in my power to make sure that I represent you in the best manner that I was elected to do. And I thank all those who supported me. I thank all those who worked with my campaign, all the volunteers who put up signs, made phone calls, stood out at the center of town with signs. Everybody who participated in any way, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. and I look forward to serving this community as I have for the past 42 years. Thank you all very much. That's all I have, Mr. Jim.
Very good, John. Thank you. Anyone else?
I just want to say thank you, John. Feelings likewise.
He's a good guy, huh? All right, then. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I would make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
All right, now call for a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'll vote yes, 4 in the affirmative, 1 absent. We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.